But it's Bell's. I mean, the worst Bell's beer I've ever had is still pretty good.
Yeah. All right, we're rolling.
Yeah, it's another week, and
WEAK.
Oh yeah, my wrist hurts. I hurt my wrist. Sorry. This is the beginning of this. Not a podcast is just my ability to
doing what?
It's actually my left wrist. So I have no clue. I just don't keep it in fighting shape.
Just a quick update for all the fans. Still no podcast. Nothing has stuck yet.
We're getting better at this. It's that thing where I want to say we're getting closer, but it feels like we're further away. But I know so much more about podcasting than when we started. That maybe the most successful podcasters in the world are like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Every day Joe Rogan wakes up and he's like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, they're gonna find me out. He's probably terrified of it, constantly living in fear of whether people are going to realize that he doesn't know how to have a podcast. He's just pretending.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that life.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be Joe Rogan. Just constantly people challenging you to a fight because you're the strongest man in the world. That's not no life for me.
Heavy is the head that wears the tough guy crown.
The tough guy crown is just a pair of headphones.
Yeah. All the toughest people in the world are podcasters.
It's true. You see them.
DJs and podcasters.
You see a big crew of them walking down the street. You're like, oh, watch out.
Yeah.
Those guys are all podcasters.
Here comes a gang of podcasters.
They're all they got their weight bench out in the driveway.
Listening to their really loud podcasts. And you're like, all right, I guess I'm going to go across the street and ask them to turn it down.
Can you guys please turn down your podcast a bit? We'd let the air out of his tires. Ha ha ha! He goes back to his wife. We cuckold him. That's right. We're sleeping with that wormy guy's wife. I mean, I guess it's my fault.
You're damn right it's your fault.
Woo!
Don't fuck with podcasters.
Podcasters.
You should have known what you were doing.
Hey man, use my code to get 30% off on Sherry's Berries, man. Okay. We're cuckolding the guy, and then we're also forcing him to try and win back his wife from us using flowers.com.
But first I'm going to shove him in a box the size of a mini fridge and mail him to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. It's all part of our bodybuilding Garfield podcast. Well, do you have any ideas for a podcast besides Garfield weightlifting?
Well, I've got Garfield weight. No.
Oh my God, we both had it written down ahead of time.
No, I've got A Sailor's Life for Me, and it would be a podcast where you know how when children are getting pictures taken, it's a thing to dress them up in like an old Donald Duck sailor suit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so cute. But nobody ever wears one of those in real life, and I guess this would be like a sociological experiment where we would dress up in those sailor suits and wear them throughout our lives during the week, and then it would be a report on how sailors are treated. Like,
okay.
What's the temperature of sailors in America?
What's the temperature?
Yeah.
And we'd be dressed as sailors. We'd be going around trying to get sailors' temperature.
Well, I mean, of America's temperature on how they deal with sailors. Like, are we going to experience
I thought we were going to get to do getting some sailors' temperatures here.
You want to use those rectal thermometers, huh?
That one was on rails, let's be honest. That was really only going to go one place once you start talking about walking around dressed up as sailors. Here's an idea. We get a bunch of guys. We dress them up like sailors. We just walk around downtown, maybe arm in arm, skipping. We get it. One guy's dressed like an Indian chief. Another one's a construction worker.
Yeah, we could absolutely do a Village People episode.
We do a Village People.
But mostly, I just want to see like, are you going to be treated, if you're wearing that costume away from the high seas? Am I going to get my cheeks pinched, or am I going to get my butt slapped? I mean, how does America take my everyday sailor outfit?
That's my everyday. This is just a fun everyday sailor outfit. It's not formal.
I just buy one thing, and then that's one thing I don't have to choose. I heard like genius billionaires do it, so I'm going to do it too.
That's the thing. They say that Albert Einstein just had a closet full of sailor costumes. It's like this way I don't have to think about anything but science.
As he adjusts his
everybody just
cravat,
slapping his ass.
Whenever it comes to me to get on a boat, I'm always ready.
Just always ready for adventure on the high seas.
Also, can you think of a better cabin boy than Albert Einstein?
Yeah. E equals MC shiver me timbers.
He's going to come up with an equation for the perfect motion and swabbing the deck.
Yeah. That I think that this is a strong contender. We can totally do a podcast.
You ready to dress up like a sailor for a week?
Yeah. Okay, so I got one here. I have to give partial credit to our friends Howell Doughty and Mandy McElvey. I was doing a thing with them last weekend, and we were all hanging out backstage, and we were talking about something about a podcast that involved like it was something that was supposed to be like a positive thing. I don't remember exactly what the impetus was, but then we got into this idea of what we came up with was the idea of a podcast that was just called The Shit of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be where every week we just pick something that we both hate, and then we just shit on it. So every week, a person, something that we hate, and we just tear it apart.
And it could be like on a big range of things, like real, true, honest to goodness.
Yeah.
This needs to change. To Cats is probably somewhere in the middle. I'd probably still be talking about how much I hated Cats.
Yeah.
But then you could just pick something real silly that's just real
it could
personal to you.
Yeah. Some weeks it'd be a thing that everybody hates, and some weeks it'd be a thing that just you hate or just I hate.
Yeah.
Or a thing we both hate. Something that maybe everyone loves, and then we're like, but you should hate it. And then Malcolm Gladwell sues us because that's his whole podcast.
Okay.
Or he's like, maybe you thought Nazis were bad, but maybe they weren't. I'm Malcolm Gladwell.
So I shouldn't pick like real easy things to hate, or I should?
I mean, we can do whatever we want with it.
Okay. I had a hangnail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate those.
God, I had a hangnail that for real, like, messed me up for a couple of days. One of those real short ones that keeps catching on, like, your fabric of your pockets and stuff.
And you keep having to put a Band-Aid over top of it.
Oh, I never did that. I'm just biting at it, trying to grab it with my teeth. But it's, like, so short that I can't get at it. It's one of those real stubby little tough sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. It was oof. Yeah, that's my shit of the week.
Hangnails. But I think that is a very doable podcast. There's a lot of stuff that I hate. There's when you go to a restaurant and you normally get your drink before the food,
good.
But they bring us the food and you still haven't brought me my drink yet.
And
what am I going to wash this crap down with?
The chicken tastes like wood.
Yeah, they need to moisturize all this dry food. Please take this plate, go back into the kitchen, dump it into a blender, pour a glass of water in there, and bring me back my slurry.
Yeah.
I want my slurry.
I want my slurry. And this is the guy that lives across the street from us. We also own a restaurant. We make him eat there.
He's like, oh boy, those big mean podcasts, they probably won't make it a slurry for me.
And we both have like those tank tops, like the real giant like neck tank tops, and we're just high-fiving each other with our fingerless gloves.
The real skinny ones, the ones that are like, yeah, you know, like the real 80s looking bikinis that are too small, string bikinis.
Yeah. We got those kind of tank tops, and we're just lifting weights back in the back of the kitchen. She's just got a microwave back there. We've got all the food from that Sugar Hill Gang song. Was it the peas are cold and the something is runny and the chicken tastes like wood? And we're just making that cucked neighbor eat it all. And he wants it in a slurry. Yeah. That's my shit of the week. That fucking pencil neck dweeb across the street. I said street.
It's okay. Like, he's not going to call you on saying street.
I can say street all day long.
You want to step across the street, brother?
I do it to gaslight him. I do tough baby talk because he's too scared to point out the fact that I'm saying stuff wrong. Yeah, so shit of the week.
Shit of the week.
Shit of the week. This week's shit of the week. And then we have like a ding, 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 like a boxing bell sound effect that plays when it's the shit of the week.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could do a thing where we both try and say it at the same time, but we don't discuss what the shit of the week is. And so we just have to keep saying something.
Oh, maybe we can like turn it into a blind item, and you have to decide whether it's my real shit of the week choice first, or whether I'm describing a shit I took that week.
Ooh, that could be tricky because I'll be honest. Yeah, that dude across the street, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, brother.
I figure what are we gonna like? What percentage of the time is the shit of the week going to be a politician? Like it would almost feel irresponsible not to.
Yeah. At least, I mean, until it becomes unprofitable to do political podcasts, and then we just pull the ejection seat on that. That's a good idea because we can definitely cash in on all the political podcasts that are currently so in vogue. But then as soon as Bernie Sanders becomes president and no one gives a shit anymore, we can be like, now we just talk shit about the dog from the movie Incredible Journey 2.
Yeah, why can't they get good acting dogs anymore? Back in my day, they trained them dogs so they could act.
They talked in those movies.
Yeah.
Does the dog in A Dog's Purpose talk?
And
I don't know. I honestly have not seen it.
I don't know. I haven't either. But
says,
they probably gave him one of those computer robot
Please
faces.
don't drown me. You know, I saw the trailer for that Call of the Wild movie. Have you seen that?
They're making a new Call it. No.
It's got Harrison Ford is the star, and he's like, "This is the dog from Call of the Wild," and then the dog has a CGI face that's like, "What?" does comic takes at the camera, and then it's Harrison Ford like, "Truly, he answered the call of the wild. Oh, you crazy dog." And then it's like all these characters are like, "This is a very special dog." And Harrison Ford's like, "He saved my life, but maybe I saved his, but maybe he saved mine. Anyway, I'm the character from Call of the Wild.
I'm the dog from the Call of the Wild."
He's a man. He's a man who just talks. They just had to put a man in the story to look at the dog and be like, "This dog is really answering the call of the wild. He can't be tamed."
It's really frustrating that Cats wasn't a bigger hit, because that could have really, really revolutionized the way we make these animal movies.
Yeah.
You imagine if Call of the Wild was...
they did just Zoobly Zoo makeup.
Yeah. And Harrison Ford really is Buck.
"Hello, my name's Buck." And he just has Halloween makeup, little puppy nose, and then whiskers drawn on.
The way that book starts makes you think that it's going to be a different kind of book. Because I think the opening line is, "Buck didn't read the newspapers." and it immediately makes me start thinking oh, it's going to be like Paddington Bear. It's going to be a gentle take on what humans do from an animal's point of view. And
Buck didn't read the newspapers. "They're all run by the Jews," he said. "Settle down, Buck," said Harrison Ford.
But then the whole rest of it, it could be like a Werner Herzog movie. It's just all man or dog versus nature, and just how I'm a little bit worried about Harrison Ford. I'm hoping they're doing a lot of this on a soundstage, because that's too cold for him. He's too old to do that.
Too old, too cold.
It's so cold.
Yeah.
Old people stay cold. They're on blood thinners. They're too cold. They can't go do the Iditarod or whatever this is.
I think mostly
75-year-old Harrison Ford.
It looks like most of this story is just people saying how special Buck is.
The only mush Harrison Ford has any business with is his slurry that he's going to get at a restaurant.
He he puts graham crackers in a bowl and then
a little warm water,
warm milk on them. His wife, she sneaks in a cup of Metamucil.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never thought about. Can you stir Metamucil into things that aren't tap water?
I think, you can stir it into anything, really. That's when I get old. They're gonna have to hide my Metamucil in a Four Loko. Here you go, Grandpa. Can you imagine when we're old and Four Loko is it'd be like sarsaparilla? They'll be like, "What the fuck?
How quaint, a Four Loko." They got an old timey cooler full of them at the Cracker Barrel.
They'll be like, "On God, my grandfather, he for real drank Four Loko."
Yeah, it'll probably make a comeback and be a hipster drink.
And then the other future kids will be like, "Why do you talk like that?" He's like, "Oh." He's like one of those gross dudes who still talks like he's an old swing musician or
Ring
something.
a ding ding, babies. Those I've never known any of them, but I think that's probably what they sound like.
Yeah. Who just did an idea? Was that me?
Yeah, you just shit of the week.
Yeah, that's right. Shit of the week. Do you have another one?
Yeah, this one is called Wiki Wild Wild West. And it's going to be an alternative history podcast, but we're going to take it literally, and we're going to try to use Wikipedia to make the events of Wild Wild West true.
This is the film Wild Wild West, not the television, not the CBS.
No, the film, yes. But, I mean, I don't know. It's sort of a broader spectrum with the television show. I've never actually watched it, but I can wrap my head around the film version.
The television show, I actually like.
I've never seen any of it.
It was kind of like Mission Impossible, but set in the Old West. It's like it was always like a mission of the week, but it had like what was it, Dr. Lovelace or whatever, kind of like his Moriarty. Like that was from the show, but it didn't. I mean, in the same way that Moriarty doesn't play like a key role in every Sherlock Holmes story.
Yeah. He's the
like,
Joker.
Yeah.
He's number one in the villains.
Like Q on Star Trek The Next Generation. He pops in like, I'm too powerful. I can't be in every episode. I would just ruin all the stories. Yeah. But I like this idea of using the Wikipedia to explain the wild. What are we doing with this?
We would be editing vandalizing every article that would relate in any way to the Wild Wild West plot.
So we would have to be.
It would be making alternative history,
sneakily
not alternative.
Inserting facts from the Wild Wild West film into like the page about the Secret Service.
In the Transcontinental Railroad. Ulysses S. Grant is definitely in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to rewatch the movie and take a lot of notes.
Of steam locomotives or something like that.
But this would be an ongoing battle. I know people are going to take our edits out, so we're going to have to work the politics of Wikipedia and curry favor so that we can get these small bits left in until we can make a child writing a history report, write a report on the plot of
eventually
Wild
we
West.
Win, and then history is written by us.
Yes.
You'd be surprised though how long unchecked Wikipedia vandalism can go. If you're listening to this right now, go take a little trip over to Ryan Lewis, the former Macklemore Collaborators Wikipedia page, and see if the thing I wrote like 5 years ago is still there, where it says under his picture, also known as Duke Goobler.
Well, that's the sort of drip that we're going to have to do to make Wild Wild West a historical fact.
Yeah, we're just slowly clawing away at the
we might have to start out with just like certain guns that they have in the movie that are anachronistic. We have to make them chronistic first, but they have to, like, we're gonna have to. It's gonna start out small until all is already lost before the mods catch on that history has been rewritten.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I have sorry, I lost my page here. I got so many tabs open. Here's my next idea. This is called, I have two different ideas for the title of this. It's either called Goof Troop Troop or Goof Troop, but it's Troupe. And this would be a podcast about the expanded universe of Goofy.
All right.
I mean, we all know
Goofy has a heart of gold. His son Max is a piece of shit. He's the shit of the week.
Yeah, I mean, well,
he doesn't value his father's love.
There's so much we know about Donald Duck's like whole crew. You know, like he got such an expanded universe.
Yeah, he had like 30 years of comics before they ever touched on it in animation.
A hot TV series that spun off into like a Darkwing Duck. Like it became like its own universe. And then Goof Troop. I mean, there's plenty of
it got kind of farted out.
There is a deep Goof lore that isn't getting.
Part of what was weird about it was Goofy was always like an everyman in the old Disney cartoons, so it was sometimes he's just Goofy, and then sometimes there are several Goofies that are, this one's the pitcher in the baseball game, this one's a batter. Like, you can have multiple Goofies that, that are playing an everyman role and not necessarily playing Goofy.
Yeah, I feel like he's like if David Lynch made one of the Disney characters. Goofy is definitely like, sometimes it's just a universe of all Goofies.
But when you give him a family, he's the only one that looks like
he's
that.
every guy on a football team for some reason. Yeah. It says here, I'm looking at the Wikipedia, and hopefully no one has made like no one's making a podcast where they're vandalizing the Goofy page, because some of this seems buck wild. Apparently, his name used to be Dippy Dog, and then, in the 50s, they changed his name to George G. Geef.
Did they just feed a bunch of names into like a 1950s Podtron to come up with that?
George G. Geef. And then on Goof Troop, his name was G.G. Goofy Goof. That's a reference to the fact that he would smear himself with his own feces.
Yeah, and then throw what didn't stick into the audience.
Oh, yuck! Oh.
He'd wear one of those Hun helmets with the point on top.
Now, it says that also he occasionally has been named Goofus D. Dog, but it's D-A-W-G, like he was part of the Rough Riders crew.
Yeah. I don't know, he strikes me more as a D-O-double-G.
Yeah, see, it feels like he would have been in the Dog Pound. There's a lot to take in, and we've barely scratched the surface.
I think that's I'd love to do that podcast.
George
Because he's underrepresented within Disney. Because Donald, as you pointed out, has a huge extended universe. Mickey gets plastered over everything to the point where I don't even kind of know who he is anymore.
You could have told me 20 minutes ago that George Geef was one of the guys on the Supreme Court, and I would have been like, probably. I don't know those guys. You're like, yeah, there's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I can't even tell you what the one that everybody was shitting their britches about for being a bad guy. What is his name? Kavanaugh? Did he do it? Is he on there?
I don't even know.
Shit. It could have been like Kavanaugh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, George G. Geef.
Well, I guess Clarence Thomas kind of was a case in point on what happens when you first get on the Supreme Court and the only thing about you is a personal indiscretion that's a huge scandal.
Yeah.
So it's happened before.
I feel like you're giving the American people a lot of credit for remembering Clarence Thomas.
It's really cool that that's a Lifetime thing. I think that's great.
A Lifetime movie?
It probably was. But yeah, it's really good that these people get appointed for life.
I might cut that out. It's a little dark. Ugh. Yeah, so that's Goof. Which one do you like more, Goof Troop Troop or Goof Troop?
I think I like Goof Troop Troop.
Goof Troop Troop, and it's a Goofy extended universe fan cast. All right, so let's go. Let's check out if we have any fan suggestions this week. We've got one here from our friend Rob. Rob, who finally says something other than gay culture. And I think it's because you just said cats was gay culture and shut it down.
I really feel bad about that because cats is not culture.
Cats is not culture. That seems like I want that to be something that people put in their Twitter bio, like with the clap emoji. Cats is not culture. Or just people who are cats. Cat people are like
Cat people is culture.
they're clapping back at the movie like my culture is not your cosplay. Anyways, our old buddy Rob writes in and he says, a good themed show about fun recipes. So right away, he wants it to be about recipes, but he wants us to make sure that it's a good themed show. We can't do a bad themed show about recipes. So it's got to be a good one about fun recipes that also give you a solid BM.
Ooh.
Now I feel pretty excited about the idea of doing fun recipes. I really like the idea of having a solid BM. Lord knows.
Yeah. We're going to have some protein in there, but there's going to definitely need to be some roughage in these episodes.
Yeah. The only part that I don't feel super confident about is it being good themed.
Yeah. I'm worried right now just because it's in my head. I'm just going to be stirring spoonfuls of Metamucil into all of these recipes.
Today we're making chili, and you're going to put I like to use black beans and red beans, and then you want to just a couple of cloves of garlic and some smoked paprika, and I gotta say, this is one spice that you want to splurge on. A good smoked paprika, you can really tell the difference in your recipes, and then just a cup of Metamucil. This is gonna really bring out the solid shits in your granddad.
Now, we've got two types of beans in this chili as well, so there will be some propellant behind these very solid dookies that you're going to be making out of this chili. You're going to be gassy, but you're not going to be blowing splatters. You're going to have one good solid chunk.
Yeah, you're going to be the guns of the Navarone. You might want to get like a pair of suspenders and attach them to the bowl and just bring them up over your shoulders. You will have some recoil.
You will be almost essentially turning yourself into a potato gun.
You're gonna feel the kick, I guess, is what you need to keep in mind with this.
One thing we could do if he wants it themed, I think we could do a Goofy themed one, because you were saying like I think a dizzy dog, like it could be all hot dogs.
Yeah, George Geef. This one would be all about the Supreme. It would be all Supreme thing. It would be like Supreme Nacho Supreme. You got a taco, but with sour cream.
Maybe this could be a guest podcast
where we add sour cream to a normal recipe that doesn't have sour cream. Fun new ways of adding sour cream, and this would be our George Geef episode. I really hopscotched to a completely different idea pretty quick with that one.
Well, you know how like most cooking shows, like they'll go through the motions of cooking it, and then they have one that's already done, and then whoever the guest is eats them. It's like, oh, that's really good, and they talk about it, but they never come back on a day later and talk about their bowel movement that they had from the meal that they had on the cooking show.
Yeah, well, we could do it. We could do it like how a cooking show, like They always cheat on.
Yeah, like we'll just have like a timer
the
ding.
meal
They'll
prep.
show like a ticking clock over the screen, and
You can tell that they did meal prep before, and because they like Rachel Ray will be like chopping carrots and cabbage, and then she's like, you're gonna just pour a whole gallon of olive oil in this, and then I don't know anything about cooking, and then we're gonna put it in the oven, and then like they open a second oven and take out the just finished one, and then everyone tries it. But we would do the same thing. We would make someone eat. We would do the meal prep and the cooking, and then make them eat the meal the day before, and then we just have a toilet.
Yeah, in the studio.
We'd have two nice, comfortable chairs, and then just a toilet in the floor, and then we'd have them trying it, and then we would, a little bit of
maybe it could be like
editing magic. We'd make it seem like they had waited to digest it, but they'd really just eaten the same meal yesterday.
Okay.
So we get them to eat it. We send them like a pack, with like just what to expect, and do you have any requests? You want sparkling water or anything when you come into the studio? Also, here's just microwave this and eat it so that you can shit it out on our show. Maybe we could we could get like some sort of a cool toilet, one of those Japanese ones that plays music and says like thank you for honoring me.
I'd like one that's made out of plexiglass instead of porcelain, so we can see the business happening as it happens.
Well, yeah, we get a little scale in there.
Yeah, you need one. We're gonna need stats on these.
Yeah,
these Dukes.
We're running statistics. We've got like a research assistant. That's his whole thing. He's like, he's not allowed to drive a car, have a bank account. All he knows is poop statistics. And then we're just like we're the John Madden in the like Howie
Pat Summerall,
Howie Long. Pat Summerall.
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel.
I'm gonna pull the doctor's glove over my nose and blow it up.
Just amazed by all the poops, like Howie Mandel on talent shows. Yeah, so that's a good themed show about fun recipes that also give you a solid PM. Should we go to the Podtron?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Podtron. I don't feel like I need to keep explaining the Podtron. We've done 30 some odd episodes of this show. It's a computer. It makes its own podcast titles.
It's its own man.
Yeah.
It has a plan.
Podtron's like, I
Panama.
don't want your life.
It definitely doesn't want our podcast. It comes up with so many ideas.
It always has stuff that's better than whatever we could come up with.
Do you think the Podtron could knock a beer can off of my head with a football?
Yeah. Fire that pigskin, Podtron! Oh. All right, right off the bat, there's one that I really like. It's just called Bing It.
Bing It.
Bing It.
So it's like a porn aggregator web podcast.
I feel like we could just, I'm just gonna double check to make sure this isn't a podcast for real. And no, I mean I can't even think of how it came up with Bing It, but it looks like Bing It is not a thing that exists. There's no show called Bing It, so this could be brought to you by Bing. Right?
I think
Microsoft.
I think this might be a big win for Microsoft because this is one of the first times somebody said Bing to me, and I immediately thought about Bing by Microsoft and not Bing, something that Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day says. Bing!
Oh.
Got it in one!
Oh my God, Ned Ryerson.
Like, I think when they rolled that out, they should have gotten Stephen Tobolowsky to be the spokesperson for it. So they could have just binged all over the place.
Hang on. I'm just making a note of what we've already come up with so that we don't get confused at the end like we always do. Also, give you a good BM. Thank you, Rob. Bing it. Yeah, so this could be a podcast. It's sponsored by Microsoft, and this would just be kind of like like one of those just little droll half-hour NPR produced things, to where we just teach people about something that they never knew before.
Yeah,
and it's just an interesting thing that you could have looked up on Bing. And, I mean, there isn't really that much else to it. It's just us. We look up. Maybe we just start, in media res. And then we just have a conversation. And then we find something in the conversation that we don't know anything about. And instead of, just talking out of our asses like we do normally, we actually do a deep dive on Bing to find out what the thing we don't know about and try and learn something. Maybe we become friends along the way.
Okay. That's a pretty doable podcast.
Bing
I can
it.
do that.
Also, we could just have a Chandler from Friends soundboard. Let me hold on.
I remember Chandler being the funny one, but I haven't watched any Friends in a really long time, and the only thing I can remember is could it be any, that he would do that thing a lot. What did he have a catchphrase?
There's nothing to tell. It's just some guy I work with.
Come on. You're going out with the guy. There's got to be something wrong with him. So does he have a hump and a hairpiece?
Wait, does he eat chalk?
How about this one?
So pretty. This would cost him a fortune. I believe he did this.
Come on, Ross, we're back in college when he fell in love with Carol and bought her that ridiculously expensive crystal duck.
Oh, crystal duck! How about this?
First I was afraid. I was petrified.
Was that sped up?
I thought that was one of somebody playing one of their mothers.
Can you see my nipples through this shirt?
Oh, Bing it!
No. But don't worry, I'm sure they're still there.
Yeah, so that could be part of Bing it as well. It's us learning things and then just hitting them with the crazy Bing drops.
Okay.
Drops of Bing. Oh. All right. That was my first Podtron submission from this week.
Okay. I've got Planet Cho.
Planet Cho.
Which Planet Hollywood went out of business. So I think this would be a podcast for Margaret Cho where she can just buy all those up. And I would like to do the proprietary official podcast of Planet Cho when the restaurant opens. So it'd probably be a little bit similar to Rob's idea where we're going around and talking to people about the meals they're eating at Planet Cho and whether they're producing good BMs from these meals.
Now, hold on a second. There are currently 9 Planet Hollywoods still
Oh,
in
I thought they went all
operation.
out of business.
Yeah, it appears that there is one at Disneyland Paris. There is one in the Caesar's Casino in Las Vegas. There's one in Haymarket in London. There is one in the Los Angeles International Airport. Oh, that's sad. There's one in Times Square, one in Walt Disney World, and one on the island of Malta. So I feel like we could probably just send a small paramilitary force out to the island of Malta and turn that one into a Planet Show pretty easily.
Okay.
And I mean, that's a story with heart, you know?
It's a true underdog story.
Yeah, it's the story every week, an update on what's going on with the beleaguered, besieged employees
Of Planet Cho.
Planet Cho on the island of Malta.
Nobody believed that Margaret Cho could take over the island of Malta, but with a little pluck and the help of some enterprising podcasters, anything's possible.
A little pluck makes me feel like a bird is involved in it somehow.
Well, we're gonna serve a lot of birds in this restaurant.
It's gonna do a Donald Duck.
You're gonna have to take the feathers
Oh,
off.
what
People
if
don't like to
we
eat
could
feathers.
add the goofy thing, a little hyuck. Ooh, this is my good hyuck charm. Shit. Planet Cho. Honestly, I think I know more about Planet Hollywood than I do about Margaret Cho.
I don't know a whole lot either, but I'd say I know equally the same amount about both things. So I'm ready to learn.
Yeah, let's bring it on.
You got another one?
Yeah, I got two here that I'm having a hard time deciding between. But I think I'm going to say this one just is really jumping out to me. Dave, your enemy. Dave, your enemy. And this could be I mean, I always am a fan of the ones where it's just a random person's name is inserted into a common phrase, you know? And sometimes you see that and you're like, oh, the United States of Terra. That, you know, what could that possibly be? And they're like, well, that's a hit show. They got canceled too soon. And Dave, your enemy, who knows? Maybe we borrow a page from what we're currently doing, and every week we pitch a new idea for what
Shitty Dave of the week.
We just do Dave. It's a different idea for what Dave, your enemy, could mean.
Yeah, I mean, because if you change the punctuation around, it could be like Dave, comma, your enemy. But also, the way I see it written on the sheet, Dave is a verb.
Dave is a verb.
And what is it to Dave?
I believe that's from the Kevin Kline movie.
Okay.
This is where you put your enemy in a coma and then replace him with an inept double. But then
that could have legs. Like who would you want to Dave?
Who do you want to Dave? Who's your enemy? Who do you want to Dave?
Oh, who do I want to Dave? I want to Dave.
Because keep in mind that whoever you Dave, his double is gonna be like more charming and lovable than he was in his own life, and so then his Dave will want to stay. Even if he comes out of a coma. We'll be like,
true.
Well, now he's the Dave.
Well, I'm going to keep it low stakes then. Well, I get a lot of burritos, and there's a particular burrito roller that is very, very soft-handed with every one of the ingredients.
A light-handed.
Yeah. Just going with half spoonfuls of everything. And so right now, as I bought my $10 burrito that was about half the weight that it normally is, I'd like to Dave that guy.
Just Dave the guy from the burrito place. And put somebody in there who looks just like him, but always forgets that guacamole is supposed to cost 80 cents. So
yeah.
He's just giving it away.
Someone
for free.
who understands that like being able to neatly roll it is not important to me. I will throw that thing in a bowl if it falls apart, but
Yeah.
That's the most recent little like, because I don't go around putting people in comas very often. Like you got to make like a pretty big mistake, like underfilling my burrito to make that happen.
Yeah. Here's who I would Dave. David Gallagher. It's the young man who played Simon on Seventh Heaven.
Okay.
I don't know what he's up to now, but I just hate that kid's fucking face. I'd like to see him daved.
Oh, now he hasn't gotten better over. I was not a big watcher of that show, but at one point in time, I would have daved Will Wheaton, and Will Wheaton's turned out to be a pretty cool adult human.
Was Will Wheaton on Seventh Heaven?
No,
Oh.
no, he's on. I'm just picking like a television show that was on around the same time that had an annoying child actor in it. Because I never watched Seventh Heaven.
You know what? Here's. I think Will Wheaton. You're not up to speed with what he looks like now.
I think I can picture what I think. Simon had a blonde mullet. Is that right?
He had like a butt cut, like a blonde butt cut, and big dark eyebrows, and just like a face.
I can picture him. I can picture him.
I fuck rats.
Yeah, he was in the same family as Ben from Growing Pains, probably.
Yeah. It was like they were like, what if Cousin Oliver from Brady Bunch was fuckable?
Oh.
But wait, so are you familiar with current day Will Wheaton's appearance?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you could just pretty much get any guy who like does computer stuff at a job you work at to Dave Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
And knowing that Will Wheaton's whole thing now is just being like, I'm an epic guy on Reddit, and I love to review board games. I'm pretty sure that he did get daved by somebody's IT guy. Yeah, I think he got daved. All right, do you have one more? Are we still got one more slot, right?
Okay, I've got Real Ghost with podcast.
Real Ghost with podcast. So this would be
This is really it says what it is, and the hardest part about this one isn't just doing the podcast; it's finding the real ghost.
Yeah, but he comes. This is like Malcolm. This is like Dr. Ian Malcolm with grappling hook. It's like those Jurassic Park action figures that had to come with some kind of a weapon accessory.
Yeah, so it's a plastic ghost figurine, but it comes with a little set of headphones and a soundboard.
This is a real ghost with podcast. He just has
It's actually just the accessories in the box. You
Yeah.
have to imagine the ghost.
So, yeah, it's just an empty blister package with a little set of headphones and a Zoom recorder, and then he has like a bunch of like expensive IPAs in a mixed 6-pack, and then just an empty package. And you're like, oh, it's Real Ghost playset.
But there are lots of real podcasts about ghosts, but as far as I know, there are no real ghosts with podcasts.
Yeah.
So it
So
is
this would
stuff that, like all these things are going to hit in all the search engines. People love ghosts and podcasts.
And real ghost with podcasts. How does this be a podcast? Or is this more of a business idea?
We're gonna have to catch a ghost. There might be a prequel cast about catching the ghost and training it to podcast.
Well, we could get a Ouija board and summon the ghost, and then just be a whole podcast of us slowly spelling things. What do you think, Real Ghost?
I hope that this is a good spelling ghost.
Yeah, it just fucks up. Oh, dang it. Well, it's one more episode. We can't understand what the ghost was talking about. All right, here's what we got. These are our ideas, just to reiterate. We had A Sailor's Life for Me, Shit of the Week, Wiki Wild Wild West, Goof Troop Troop, a good theme podcast about fun recipes that also give you a good BM, Bing It, Planet Show, Dave Your Enemy, and Real Ghost with Podcast. Now,
this is a good week. There's a lot of good choices here.
There's a lot of, I mean, who wouldn't want to do Planet Show? The one where we overthrow like a protectorate of Greece or something like that.
I'm torn between two of them, and they're both. One of them is yours, and one of them's mine.
What are we looking at here?
My two favorites are A Sailor's Life for Me and Goof Troop Troop.
I think that Goof Troop Troop has more legs than the one where we'd have to live as men in children's sailors costumes for a week. I mean, as good of an idea as it is, we're working on a limited budget. And I finally found that Scrooge costume I thought I'd lost. We're already out $100 on Scrooge and Marley costumes that didn't even get used for the proper bit. So let's go with Goof Troop Troop.
Okay.
Should we pepper in any of the? I guess we could do a Bing It. Just throw Bing It in there, just to get the sponsorship.
I think that anytime we're taking a break, we should Bing It.
Bing It will just be... I think
Bing It can be a great
Goof
interstitial
Troop Troop,
sort of.
A goofy deep dive podcast, and brought to you by Microsoft. And then we'll have the segment where we learn new things. Will be called Bing It, and then we'll be looking things up on Bing. And also playing the Chandler soundboard. Yeah,
with a note that at the end of the week, if I've captured a ghost, all bets are off. And we might be doing Real Ghosts with Podcast.
Okay. All right. So, thanks for listening. Go on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. That's its new name. And give us a rate and a review if you like the show. Join our Facebook group where you can help submit new ideas for podcasts every week. And if you go to the Patreon at patreon.com/we don't have a podcast yet and become a patron, you can hear all the podcasts in the vault. That's a bonus episode every week, plus all of the past episodes. This next Friday, you can hear Goof Troop Troop, our goofy fan cast, brought to you by Microsoft, which might end with us summoning a ghost.
Yeah. And give your mother a kiss for me.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.